My name is Hannah Shank. I am a writer and user experience consultant and mother to two kids, one who has albinism. We did a panel on writing about albinism, and we decided that actually started Emily, who had written a memoir about raising her child with albinism, reached out to me over the summer, which was when my book had come out, and asked if I was coming to the conference and did I want to do a panel on writing about albinism, and it sounded like a worthwhile thing to do, so we put it together.
Okay, you've been published with some really some namely publications, one of which is the New York Times. Can you tell me a little about that?
Sure. So I've written a bunch of different things for them, all almost all personal essay and one op-ed piece. I kind of have a habit of, like, I'll target a publication and say, like, I want to write for this publication, and then just read it obsessively until I figure out kind of what the formula is and work my contacts and find an editor there. And so when the New York Times started the Modern Love column, this was, almost, probably 8 years ago now, it was pretty new, and I thought, like, this is my chance because this is a new column and nobody knows about it, and I just have to, like, figure out the right topic. And so I read it a bunch and ended up actually writing a piece about my son, who was 2 at the time. And then the magic of the New York Times is that once you get into the New York Times, it becomes a lot easier to get published other places, including other places in the New York Times. So through that, I ended up doing a bunch of other essays for them that ran in their op-ed section. So.
Amazing. Okay, so what would you say if you could give, like, one tip or the one big secret to getting published? Because that's a question a lot of the members of my Writers Association always ask. What would you say? What advice would you give?
I really think that studying where you want to, like, obsessively reading where you want to publish, and kind of figuring out the formula. Like, all of these places have a formula. Even the New York Times has a pretty discernible formula. So if you can figure it out, and then that helps you kind of figure out the right topic to hit on for them. So I think that early in my career, I would just, like, write whatever came into my head and be like, I feel really moved to write about this. And that's fine to do that, but I now realize, like, I take that idea, I'll write it down, and it's not always the right time to write it. I'll kind of wait until it has, like, I've lived the ending, or there's a hook that, a modern current events hook, or something that just makes it relevant, or I learn something from it. So I think that those are probably 2 things. So one is study the publication, and probably the other is to not just kind of write what you're moved to write, but use that as that's the beginning point. Kind of use that as the starting point of the process.
Thank you so much.
Sure.